All right, Dr. Barbara Bumberry is here this morning. How are you today?
I'm good this morning.
I always thought that I could blame my family for this because we've got a lot of snorers in our family, myself included, right? But we laugh about that. It's a serious matter, though, because you're talking about heart health when it comes to sleeping well.
Right. So in this country, almost 800,000 people will die every year from heart disease. And we know there's a correlation with sleep quality. The National Sleep Foundation recommends that adults 26 to 64 get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Adults 65 and older get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But about a third of the population suffers some type of sleep disorder, with insomnia being the most common.
I was going to say, that 7 or 9 and everything seems like you're talking quantity, but quality sleep is something that you also need to focus on, right?
Right. So there's what's called short sleep duration, which is where you get less than 6 hours. Long sleep duration is where you get over 9 hours, and they both increase your risk for heart disease. And with short duration, we know that it's in part due to elevations of blood pressure, cortisol levels. It increases systemic inflammation. Plus, a lot of times those people have poor health habits. They smoke, they don't eat well, they don't exercise. With long sleep duration, we don't know the exact mechanism, but it may be in part due to poor sleep quality, trouble falling asleep, trouble staying asleep, other sleep disorders like sleep apnea, and then also other disorders like depression, which is a risk factor, or other conditions like cancer, which can cause people to have prolonged sleep.
All right, so the long-term effects of these can be rough. Sleep apnea is something that we were just talking about. A lot of people also deal with. It's just the waking up in the middle of the night, interrupting your sleep. That can't be good for you, right?
No, what happens with sleep apnea, which affects about 4% of the population, is your airway actually closes off during the night and you stop breathing momentarily, and this happens over and over all night long. And so it raises your blood pressure, it increases your risk for congestive heart failure, it increases your risk for atrial fibrillation, which is an irregular rhythm of the heart that increases your risk for stroke. And so the treatment is what's called a CPAP machine, which is a special mask that people use that helps keep the airway open. And we know that it decreases their blood pressure. It also improves the pumping function of the heart. And in patients with atrial fibrillation, if they have cardioversion, which is where their heart is shocked back into a normal rhythm, if they use their CPAP machine, they're more likely to stay in that normal sinus rhythm.
All right, important to use the machine if you got it, and also just get that heart checked out, too. That's always important to do as well.
Right, and if you have heart disease and you have sleep disorders, discuss it with your physician. If you have sleep apnea, use your CPAP machine. And if you have sleep disorders, do your best to try to decrease your risk for heart disease. Exercise, quit smoking, eating healthy, things like that.
Change up those habits and make sure everything is smooth sailing after that, right?
That's right.
Dr. Barbara Bumberry, thank you so much for joining us this morning.